my channel. My name is Brian, and for those of you who don't know me, I am a clothing reseller, and I resell clothes on apps like Poshmark, Depop, 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 Mercari, a little bit on eBay, and yeah, so I basically buy clothes for cheap and I flip them for more money, and sometimes I'll do things to them like modify them to make them cooler. And one of the things I do is turn t-shirts into crop tops. So it's a super trendy look right now, has been for a while. They look super cute paired with high-waisted denim, shorts, or pants. And yeah, I'll show you some of the ones that I have made. These are some that I have for sale available right now in my Depop and on Poshmark. And some of them are on Mercari too, like I said. But yeah, so you can see I do a lot of like the Harley tees and just different fun graphics that, yeah, long sleeve. So yeah, today I'm gonna show you guys 3 ways that you can make them. So 3 different looks, and each one's super cool. And I'll also throw a couple pictures up above of how they look on models, and you will need some supplies to make these. So the first thing you'll need is a little piece of chalk. It can be white, lighter color is better, so like white, or this one's yellow. You'll need fabric scissors. If you have normal scissors, that'll work too, but fabric scissors just work better for fabric. And then a measuring tape. Definitely you need either a yardstick or a measuring tape. Ruler is not gonna really be big enough. You could make it work, but it wouldn't be super easy. And then if you're working outside or something, you won't need this, but I am using a big piece of poster board. You can use a big piece of cardboard or really any kind of something, a big blanket you don't care about, but you basically just wanna put it in between you and the floor so that you're not scratching the floor or cutting the carpet. Maybe you're a reseller like me, or maybe you just wanna make a cute crop top for yourself, but odds are, even if you don't have a t-shirt, odds are you can find probably your dad or your boyfriend or your brother has an old big t-shirt. And I definitely like the men's ones because they just give more of that like flowy look, I guess, once they're cropped. And you can make them with women's t-shirts too, but it just is more tight around the waist and doesn't give the same look, but sometimes I do that too. So these are the 3 shirts that I'm gonna be cropping. This Green Day band tee, plain on the back, a Harley Davidson Milwaukee tee from 2011, and then last is another Harley tee 2007 from the Cayman Islands. And now you'll be able to see how they look after, once I'm done. Okay, so I have my first tee here, and this one is gonna be a basic straight across crop, so it's pretty simple. One thing that you wanna keep in mind is that you don't want to cut off any of the graphics. So whichever side has lower graphics, sometimes the lowest part is going to be on the back, sometimes it'll be on the front. In this case, it's on the back. So what I'm going to do is measure how long I want it. And typically for most crop tops, you're going to want them to be between 16 and 21 inches. And you're not gonna wanna go any smaller than 16 inches because that's gonna be super, super cropped. And usually if it's like a size extra small, I'll go around 17 inches. And then for every size, I add like maybe half an inch. So like, you know, if it was a large, I'm gonna probably do more like 19 inches. And if it's like a 2X or a 3X, I'll probably do more like 21 inches. And so first thing I'm gonna do is measure the length I want on this one. So this is a size medium. So I'm gonna say I want it about 18 inches, but I wanna first make sure that the graphic doesn't go lower than 18 inches. So the graphic only goes to 16 inches, so I'm fine to cut it at 18. And when you're measuring, you're gonna wanna measure from the highest points of the collar. So this very corner at the edge of where the collar is where you're gonna wanna measure from. So you're gonna wanna place the 0 right there, and then hold it down, and what I'm gonna do is put a mark of chalk right below the 18. Boop, boop, boop. And then same thing on the other side. You wanna measure from both of the high points of the collar and make sure it's all straight. And then again, I mark right below the 18. And you wanna make sure that you're marking below the number, because sometimes what I've done is like on one side I'll mark below the 18, and then the other side I mark above the 18, and then when I cut it, it doesn't come out even. So then the next step is to hold the ruler or the tape measure across from edge to edge and make it go right under where the initial lines were, and then you're gonna wanna mark on the edge that same measurement so that you have a good starting place. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna flip this around just so I have a little extra room to cut on the board. This board is again gonna make sure that there is no cutting of the carpet, because I would be in big trouble by my boyfriend. And then you're just gonna wanna start at one end and cut the next line, and then again keep going all the way across. And as you can see, there are like little uneven ends, but that's okay. It kind of adds to the distressed look. And then after we cut it, what we're gonna do is kind of pull on the seam where you cut. And what that's gonna do is relax the raw edge and make it so it's not so jagged looking, and it kind of curls up and gives it more of like a lived in look. Okay, so there is the first one, super cute. You've got, pair this with some distressed denim shorts, and you've got a good like vacation or festival look. Okay, I'm gonna grab the other one. So I have my other t-shirt here. It is a Green Day tee, and this one is a size large. So what I'm gonna do is cut this one around 19 inches. I can already tell that the graphic is shorter than that, so I'm going to measure from the top and 19 inches. Do the other side. Again, right below 19 inches. And then I'll flip this around because the shirt is a little lighter than the short side of the cardboard. And then hole mark on the edge my starting mark and ending mark. And then I will flip it around. Yeah, one thing this is really good for is if there's any kind of stain or damage on the bottom of the shirt, then like this one, for example, has a couple little dark marks right here. So that is just one way that you can kind of hide those, and something that you would otherwise not be able to use anymore, you can kind of give it new life. So I'm cutting across here. So as you can see, this is very similar to the first way, and it's basically gonna look the same. This one's a little more, I didn't cut that one very well, but it's still, again, it's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect, and a lot of times these tees I'll end up distressing anyway, so I'll like give them holes and shreds, and if there's already a hole or a stain, then you can just add more, and it just adds to that distress sort of look, or a lot of them I'll even bleach dye or tie dye. So as you can see, it's pretty much the same, but what I'm gonna do differently for this one is I'm gonna make it, right now the edge is raw, so we would call this raw edge, but the hem is raw, but we're gonna make it completely raw edge. So what I'm gonna do is just cut along the sleeve seam. And then I'm going to cut around the other side. Just want to make sure they're even. Again, it doesn't have to be too perfect. And then the last thing I'm gonna do is cut around the neck seam actually, because I want the neck to be a raw edge too. So I cut one slit down the middle, and then I just will cut along the neck seam all the way around. Boop, boop, boop. You can also, if you just want to do the sleeve, then you could just do the sleeve, or if you just want to do the neck, you could just do the neck. It's really just up to your personal taste. And then I'm gonna try to cut above the tag so that when I go to resell it, it still has the tag. So I was able to leave the tag. The tag's a little janky, but anyway, I was still able to get it there so that when I resell it, the person will know that it has the tag and they can, verify by seeing the tag what size it is. And then I will just, again, pull on the edges a little to relax those. And, made a little ripping sound. See, like, some of the stuff will fray off and you can just cut it right off. And it looks great. So yeah, that's number 2. It's very similar to the first one. It just has more of a raw edge. So it gives it a little bit more of an edgy look and just different. So I like to do some different, it's good to have a variety. Okay, so for the last one, which is actually my favorite because I think it's more unique. I don't see many people doing this style. But what I'm gonna do is make it like so it has a little tie knot in the front. So the first thing I wanna do, so the big graphic is on the front, so usually for these tie front ones, I do them about an inch longer. This one is a size large, so I'll do it, I think 19 inches, but I wanna make sure that the graphic is not longer than 19, and it is. So if you take a look here, the graphic is 20 inches. So I don't want to make it, the graphic is like 19 and a half, so I don't want to make it any shorter than that. Otherwise, it's going to get cut off, especially when you tie it. It kind of bunches up the bottom. So, where did my chalk go? Oh, fudge. Yeah, I always do this. I always misplace the chalk, but I found it. So I'm going to actually make this one 20.5 inches. But what's different about the tie front is whether the graphic's on the front or the back, you want to start by measuring on the back side. And you'll see why, but basically the reason is that you cut the back straight across and the front, we're going to make the tie knots. So you don't want to cut the front the same. So whatever you do for these tie knot ones, just make sure you start measuring on the back. So I'll start from the top collar and the very highest point again, and I'm gonna measure right below the 20.5 inches. Again on the other side, got 20.5 again. Then I will, sometimes like they won't seem exactly even, so you'll just want to go back and make sure you measured right. And I did, so don't know why it looks crooked, but yeah. Oh, okay, that's why. The top corner was kind of unfolded, or was folded under. So I'm going to remeasure this one, and it'll be about 1/2 inch higher. Okay, so now I have a good straight across line, and you wanna do the same thing, mark on the edges where you're gonna be your starting points. But what's different now is I'm going to, instead of cutting right here, what you're gonna wanna do is start where the edge of the shirt is and cut up the side all the way to your marker, to where you marked. And same thing on this side. I have shaky hands, I always have. I haven't eaten a lot today. I've been working from home in my day job, so didn't get a chance to make a big meal. I really wanted to make this video. So then, once you've cut up the sides, you're gonna see it's like a big flap. And basically what we're gonna do is cut the flap off the back. And then just cut all the way across through your markers. Okay, so now that piece is completely off, so the back is completely cropped to the length we want. And then now what we're gonna do is flip it back over to the front, and we're going to measure the halfway point of the middle of the shirt. So you just lay it flat, kind of pull it so that it's all laid flat, and then you'll just measure from one end to the other. So this one is 21.5 inches. So what we're gonna wanna do is divide that by 2 to get the middle point. So half of 21.5 is going to be 10.75, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to do, I'm gonna mark that right in the middle. So you just need a little mark there so that you can see where the center is. And then I'm gonna flip this back around, and from the front, on the point where you had cut on the back, you'll just wanna, start cutting there. And what we're gonna do is cut a line from here to where the crop is on the back, all the way to that center marker. And you could draw a line if you want. You could take a measuring tape or a ruler and measure along there so that you have a guide, but I just eyeball it, and I've never had a problem with it coming out bad. If you start to go a little too much one way, you can kind of correct yourself so that you end up back at this middle point. Perfect. See, I got a little bit extra fabric there, but I'll just correct that. And then I'll do the same on the other side. So then the front is basically looks like a triangle on the bottom now. And then we're gonna flip it back over to the back, and then we're going to make it all flat. And then basically what you're gonna wanna do is start at the tip of the triangle, and you wanna cut it all the way up the center to where the back is cropped. And you wanna make sure it's just in a perfectly straight line. So then, once you've done that, you are gonna want to relax the edges just like we did on all of them. It'll kind of hide any like imperfections, and just make it look more, like I said before, just more relaxed and lived in. And then you turn it back to the front, and it's pretty much all done. All you have to do after that is just tie a little knot, and then you want to double it. And then I kind of just fiddle with this, pull the edges out to the side because you want it to look even. And then there you have it. And see what I meant about it bunching up at the bottom? It kind of hides some of the graphic. So definitely give yourself a little space between the bottom of the graphic, and yeah, that's how it is. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, whether you're a reseller or someone who's just wanting to make a crop top for yourself. I hope it was really helpful, and I'll be having a lot more DIY videos coming soon or if you're interested in learning more about becoming a reseller and how you can make money working from home, then hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.